blessed risings, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where in the world you are tapping in from. You got to keep in mind that Keep It P podcast is a global show, and today we'll be discussing gas prices are so high, they're making governments suspicious. Yeah, right. Like you ain't in on it. Like you ain't getting your kickbacks. Who do you think we are, man? And we ain't tripping. Black people been scraping and scrounging and starving P to make it, period, anyways. We've been having to turn 15 cents into a dollar. We've been having to do that. Y'all the ones screaming and hollering and getting ready to jump out the windows. That ain't us. But y'all could cut that check, though. Sign that petition if you're trying to get that check cut, P. Huh? Do for self. Do for own. ZeroAntiBlackRacism.com. That's reparations right there, all built up in there, man. Let Kendra, she gonna tell you about it. Listen up.
Be one to the family. This is Kendra Blackwood of Hot Lava Music TV and the Hot Lava Media Group. And I come to you today with an urgent call to action. And with that being said, this petition is to demand the US government immediately make anti-black racism a public health crisis is now an active campaign at change.org. And after this message I'm going to need you to go over there and show your support. Right after you smash that like and subscribe if you have not already. Make sure you hit that bell for notifications. It doesn't cost you a thing. Now, this is a petition to demand cash reparations for foundational Black Americans addressing two critical components. So what is anti-Black racism? Anti-Black racism is defined here as policies and practices rooted in American institutions such as government, finance, education, healthcare, and justice that mirror and reinforce economic deprivation, racially targeted laws, beliefs, attitudes, prejudice, stereotyping and/or discrimination toward foundational Black Americans. What is a public health crisis, you ask? Well, a health crisis or public health crisis is a difficult situation or complex health system that affects humans in one or more geographic areas, from a particular locality to encompass the entire planet. Health crises generally have significant impacts on community health, loss of life, and on the economy. And ultimately the solution to the problem, it is imperative that the United States government declare anti-Black racism a public health crisis for foundational Black Americans. In 2020, as a community, Asian Americans experienced only 287 hate crimes nationwide. However, FBA in the same year suffered 2,871 reported hate crimes. As we know, those are just the reported accounts according to the F.B.I. As foundational Black Americans, we know that the number should reach in the billions daily. This resulted in a 94-1 unanimous decision to pass into law an anti-Asian hate crime provision to make Asian a protected class. With anti-Black racism being thousands of times more prevalent and permeating within the fabric of America, we ask that you sign this petition to say we are sick of studies and commissions to study forums and meaningless holidays and nothing burger symbolic gestures. We demand the U.S. government to urgently disperse the first initial reparations cash payment of $20 trillion to the surviving descendants of American chattel slavery. AKA, cut the damn check. And I mean that. Jack. On my ancestors for real for real. I proudly digress. Anyway. Check out the new Slave Patrol documentary. Pull up season on you sucker MCs. Don't forget to join us on Patreon. I got 4 words for you. Go grab a shirt. And love, peace, blessings and Meloa. Be
Music TV.
Now, this article is written by Samantha. I don't know if it's supposed to be Samantha, but it says Samantha. Samanth. Subterranean. This is from Quartz. It's from a series from our obsession, Fixing Capitalism, Capitalism and anti-black racism is just a collection of decisions made by white people, and we can change it if we want to. That's where this series, that's where this article comes from. Governments are slashing gasoline levies to bring prices down. So why are customers paying record prices to fill up? They gonna tell us how they done lowered these levies for the oil companies that they're invested in, and so that they can reap record profits. Right, because they're in on it. Right. They don't drive. They got drivers, Ubers, taxis, and we pay for it. No, not like we as in all Americans. I'm saying we black people. When you only paying 2%, come on, don't even get me getting into those numbers. That's a whole different conversation. But we know we be putting in the most taxes and we spend the most money. In Germany and the UK, fuel companies are facing new government inquiries to determine if high fuel prices are the result of anti competitive practices. The kind of review that President Jose Big Daddy Uncle Biden asked the Federal Trade Commission to conduct last fall, and that is still going as prices keep on rising. All three nations are reeling from sticker shock as they're in it together, and prices of gasoline soared in the wake of Russia and the Ukrainian war that they're all three nations are using as an excuse to rake us over the coals. Over the weekend, the cost of a gallon of gas in the US topped $5 for the first time in history. At the same time, the UK witnessed its own new record, translating to roughly $8.54 a gallon. We're all in this together, said the three nations. Huh? All directed at black people. And oil companies are oil companies colluding to keep gas prices high? Are oil companies and the government colluding to keep gas prices high? You think? The surge in these prices have prompted government action. Nope, no action. Germany wants to arm its competition authorities to come down hard on fuel companies that are failing to pass on the benefits of emergency tax cuts to customers. Germany had cut the fuel levy by 30 euro cents per liter of gasoline beginning June 1st, forging roughly 3.1 billion in revenue. I ain't tell you they in it together, P. The government slashed that because they politicians invested in that. Huh? But you know what it could help y'all do? Cut that check. Now I ain't even talking about Germany cutting the check. That's them. I ain't tripping off of that. I'm talking about USA. Is that check on its way? But there have been no uh, drop in the price of gasoline. In a radio interview, blah, 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 called the blah, blah. Oil companies may claim, of course, that the tax break has been overtaken by the cost of producing and transporting gasoline. Part of the government's inquiry will involve the probe of the refining and wholesale stages of the gasoline sector to determine if cost escalations are indeed behind the spike in pump prices. We're all in this together. The three nations against black people. The UK got to bluffing, and they're doing their inquiry. They said they cut fuel in March for a period of 12 months. They said they done lost 5 billion euros, which is 6.1 billion American dollars. They talking about yet they frustrated because there ain't no passing on of the savings because the politicians is putting it in their pockets and now they acting like they all concerned. Although the governments have promised stiff fines if they find out there was any bluffery, but such inquiries, this is the last paragraph, this is what they want to leave you with, such inquiries rarely result in strict punitive action. Right, we're all in this together, said the 3 nations against black people. Corporations cannot be forced to pass on tax cut benefits to their customers. What I just tell y'all? So why y'all do it then? Right, to line their pockets because the politicians is invested in the oil companies. They not feeling the crunch at the pump because we pay for that for them. Competition watchdogs can only investigate if oil companies are colluding to keep prices artificially high, which is difficult to prove to a legal standard because we pay everybody to get away with it. But I'm saying if you can cut all these taxes and give all these breaks and within just a year you can come up with $6 billion reparations. Right. But I ain't gonna hold you. Just gonna mold you, scold you, and fold you. Because we done told you about being on cold. Shout out Jay Lava. Not trying to tell you what to think. Trying to show you how to think. You know what I'm saying? Huh? Do you get what I'm saying? Can I get a yay yay in the comments if you understand what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all tuning in. It's the Nooner. We're going to try to be on time for y'all. 8:30 in the morning, Pacific time. 12 noon, Pacific time. 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. Love, peace, blessings, and maloha. And you know we got to pay some bills. We wouldn't even have to run the commercials if y'all would go ahead and invest in yourself now. Keep It P podcast now. What the P stand for there, boy? For the people now. That's what the P stands for. It stands for the people now. It's for y'all now. Go get you some girl now. Go get you some. Don't be scared to wear it now. Say it with your chest.
bitch blood on her hair, she so tragic. Be careful for her love, she love.
Hey Riri. Hey Rihanna, hey girl, how you doing? I'm into you like Trump's in the cocaine. I know that might sound a little confusing.
Call me when you need a friend. Call me when you need someone to come through with that loving baby. I'll be the one to get it from the back. You be pulling on my body, babe. There ain't no need to answer the phone, 'cause I got you where I need you, baby. Face down in the bed, and we can get it